guys. Hey. All right, I'm laughing because I almost forgot. It's day 5 and I almost forgot to go live. Uh, I just got off the phone with my cousin. She called and had a question about something. And I'm in my pajamas and I had my head rag on to like be ready to go to bed. And then I was like, oh crap, I gotta do this live. Thank God for filters, because of course I have zero makeup on. And when you're doing these lives, it's not like you're looking at anybody. What's up, Jarvis? You're like looking at yourself. So yeah, you gotta have a filter or something on. And I threw on my Olympia jacket, one of them. This is what year is this? I don't even know. 2011 maybe? I can barely see it. It's old jacket. But yeah, look it up. The Olympia is like the Super Bowl for bodybuilding, if that makes sense. So I know it's weird I'm sitting here in a jacket, but I was like, I gotta go live. I gotta do my Rise Up challenge. I gotta do my 30 days. And this is only day 5. So like, come on, Nicole, don't chicken out. Get on this thing and do it. I've been talking about fear and different forms of fear. I think I mentioned a Bible verse about God did not give us a spirit of fear, but He gave us power and love and a sound mind. So I'll get into that, but I wanted to spend this first 7 days talking about fear. And so I talked about fear being false evidence appearing real, and how we take in information from various sources, what people say about us, what the media says about us, the stereotype things, and that's all false evidence, right? And then I talked about what else? I talked about fear of disappointment, right? We fear disappointing like our family and friends, and and we're scared to step outside of the box and do different things in our life, whether that's, with our careers, with our families, just, maybe it's a trip we want to take, people always got something to say about anything you do in life. My coach actually just posted that. She posted, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. Hey Carla, so you might as well just do it, right? I didn't actually get to watch her video, but when I saw that I laughed because I'm like, you're right. So why not live this life the way you want to live it? So talked about fear of disappointment. And today I was thinking about what's another aspect of fear. And people often say fear of failure, right? Like, to me, that one's a weird one. Like, okay, so in order to fear failure, what that means is I have to always be thinking about what's gonna go wrong, which is so jacked up, right? It's like, why am I thinking about all the things that can go wrong? Like, why not think, it's like that the glass is half full kind of thing. Like, what would cause me to do that? And then if you think about, like I talked about way back on the first day, when you're a kid, you hear no all the time because this would happen and that would happen. You could, you probably shouldn't walk on that 4-inch beam because you could fall off. Well, we would never have, our Olympic gymnasts if they ever thought that, as a kid, I wouldn't have been a kid gymnast if I thought that, like, oh, this is too scary, don't walk on that beam, don't swing on that bar, don't run and flip, don't do that because you could hurt yourself. And that does happen. I know girls that didn't try out for cheerleading because they were too afraid that they might have to go up in the air. It's like, Well, duh, it's cheerleading. And, if you're on a competition squad, you might have to fly or you might have to throw somebody and catch them. Like, that's just all part of the thing. So yeah, fear of failure. Hey, Deb. What's up, Deborah? Um, Deborah, I am doing this challenge where I have to go live for 30 days straight to speak my heart and my mind. And it's called the Rise Up Challenge. And I'm wearing my Olympia jacket. Yay! This is 2011. You might have even been there with me that year. I think it's 2011. I see the 2, the 0, and the 1. The other number isn't even coming up. It looks like it's come off. So, but yeah, I'm covered up because I have on my pajamas underneath here. Yeah, it's only 9:36 here at home, and I was already on my way into. Doesn't that age you? Sometimes you're like, man, I'm already ready to get in the bed. But yeah, I do have an early morning client, so it's good. I'm getting my beauty rest. Anyway, fear of failure, and I thought, okay, so in order to have a fear of failure, you have to think about failing, right? And I'm like, how can I have a fear of failure? Like, but back then, I'll say back a few years ago, I didn't have a fear of failure. I was fearless. I jumped right into trying new things, new jobs, new opportunities. I can remember coming straight out of high school, getting a call to come visit the University of Alabama. And I didn't even want to, that wasn't even on my list to go there, but to go for a weekend to hang out with some random people and do some cheerleading stuff that I didn't know, I was definitely going to do that, whether I went to that school or not. And I was like, yes, I'm doing that. When I got an application to apply to work as a college cheerleader, teaching other high school students. And then I also taught other college students as well. I was like, yeah, sign me up. Let's try this. Like getting in my car, driving for hours, teaching, several days in a row, driving here, driving there. It was no fear. Now, you ask me to do that, I might be like, ooh, there are crazy people out now, people going into places, Walmarts, massage parlors, all kinds of places, shooting people up, like, I'd be like, no, maybe not. That's not for me. So, yes, Carla, fear is definitely a negative. Definitely a negative. But I just was like, when I think back when I was younger, I didn't really think about failing. And I think, number one, I think it was because I hadn't had as much experience in life, and I hadn't had so many or too many failures. I would say this, the failures I may have had when I was younger were just not that big of a deal. I was like, oh, okay, I didn't make it this year, or I didn't do this, or I didn't win the award, somebody else win. Let's just do this other contest, or it just, for some reason, it never stopped me, And then when I think back, I think it all has to do with your foundation, right? When you're younger, you have so many things that you don't have to worry about. You have so many things that your parents are doing for you, and you have family that's pouring into you. And if you're like me and you grew up in the church, you had that spiritual portion of you as well. So think about a pure young child, listening and doing what their parents are telling them to do, soaking up all the opportunities that is life, whether it's going to a football game or, signing up for a school club or deciding to run track, hanging out with your friends, whatever. You have this element, then you have the element of, you don't have to worry about bills, right? You got parents paying your things, it's just and then on top of that, your parents are sending you or making sure you go to church. That's just what you do as a family. And you're learning how to pray, thank God. And then you have all these people around you that are praying and covering you because they know you're hanging out with your best friends and your boyfriend, on the weekend. And although they tell you that you're not supposed to do X, Y, and Z, they know that you could possibly still do X, Y, and Z. So there's also that prayer that's covering you. So there's that mind, body, and spirit. And what I was thinking about now, it's like I do have that fear of failure now. But I only really I only think that fear of failure came in after I actually tasted success, right? It's a double-edged sword. Like, people are like, well, Nicole, you've done so much in your life. You've traveled. You were an Alabama cheerleader. You were a cheerleader for the Atlanta Falcons. You've traveled the world as an IFBB fitness pro. You've done all these things. Like you should be, like everybody's like, oh, all that stuff is so cool, whatever. But those are experiences that aren't like, they have an expiration date, right? Or they have, or not necessarily, some of them don't have an expiration date, but as your expiration date gets closer, you know what I mean? As you have more birthdays under your belt, then some of those things it's changing the way you get to the top and you stay to the top. And so then I'm figuring all this out, y'all. Listen, then the fear of failure, like just creeps in. I shouldn't do that because as soon as I did that, you could, like, my filter went away. But it just, fear, like, it just creeps in because you've tasted success. You know what that feels like. And I would bet it's the same way with people who are moms now or people who are further on into their career. And maybe, like, you're like, man, when I was this 20-something, 30-something, my body was snatched. I looked like this. Now I done had these kids and this, that, and the other. And it's not that you can't still have that snatched body because let me tell you, you look up some names like Janet Lynn West and Ella Horton. I'm putting y'all out there. You've got and who else? Jen. I can't think of your last name right now. But these are women that are that are in their 50s and look amazing. Their bodies are snatched and they look good, So we all can still get that. It's just the matter of amount of work we're willing to put in, or now that things have changed, now that our metabolism isn't as fast, now that the joints don't work the way they used to. I was telling my cousin this earlier. She was having an issue with her foot and she's been walking and she said, when I feel like going, I just hop in the car and I go and I walk and I get it in. And she's like, the bottom of my foot is hurting. And I'm like, girl, we got to warm up nowadays. We got to warm the body up and we got to cool it down as well. And so now that you've gotten older, let me stay on track here, but now that you've gotten older and you know what success tastes like, there can be a fear of failure. So like I injured myself. I tore my Achilles in 2013 at the Olympia. Did not get to finish the Olympia 2013. And then I had to do rehab and all this stuff. And then I came back 2016. I competed in the Arnold Australia. Not at my best fit wise, but routine wise, I was on point, right? But I was so nervous about my ankles because I just tore my Achilles. And then I was like, oh, I'm ready to go now. I know what I need to do. I need to lean up, need to keep working. And then I went to the Europa in Charlotte, North Carolina. This is 2016. And I tore my other Achilles. Like, I mean, the whole entire time I was like, nothing's going to stop me. I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to quit. I went to the gym with a scooter and crutches every day, and I trained every single one of my clients. I had my parents drop me off. Some of my clients would even drop me off. Like, I had people chauffeuring me. I spent my whole day at the gym. I went to rehab like I was supposed to. I did everything they told me to do. And then I got back on the stage, 2016, and I tore the other damn Achilles. So here I am. I got to do this all over again. And I did. And just in time for something else to hit me. My fibroids started to grow again. So then it was like, okay, Nicole, you're going to have surgery, because even if you lean out, you have fibroids and it looks like you're 5 months pregnant, because these are benign tumors that people don't talk about enough, that it's like 80% of women experience fibroids at some point in their lives. It's ridiculous. And it keeps people from being able to get pregnant, to hold their pregnancies long, painful cycles, all that good stuff. So as I digress, but that's what happens to me. That happened to me. And so after I healed from my Achilles tear in 2016, mind you, 2013 and 2016, I had to have surgery to repair them. It's a minimum 6 months recovery. And then I have this fibroid issue. So then the next year, I'm having fibroid surgery around Thanksgiving, Christmas time. And then that's like a whole nother year of recovery. And then at this point, it's like, can I do this again? Can I get on stage again? Do I want to get on stage again? Am I too old? Can I tumble as high as I used to tumble? Right? Because I'm that gymnast girl, that cheerleader girl, the high flying. If you Google me, Nicole Duncan Fitness, I think it's the 2008 or 10, one of those competitions, Olympias. It's one where I'm wearing a pink hoodie and I put my foot in it and take it off, and I'm doing like all this crazy stuff. But Bob Ciccarillo always says, the high flying Nicole Duncan, right? And so it's like, I'm 4'11". I have to fly high again to get back on that stage. So what do, right? Fear. It scares me just to think about it. Like, I used to get scared right before I stepped on the stage. And then as soon as I got that first beat of music, and as soon as I got that first step, I was good, right? I was good. I was ready to perform. I was having a good time up there. But you got to get there. And so what do we do? And I'm not going to go into it right now, but I just want you to think about it. What do we do to get over that fear of failure? Now, some of that too is outwardly, right? It's not just, can I actually physically do it again without hurting myself? But then it's also, when I do get ready and when it is ready, can I entertain again? Will I be good enough? Will they like me? Will they think, oh, she's washed up? What is she doing back on the stage? Oh my gosh, fear. It's like insane. And it's funny that I'm talking about it. I did not plan for fear to really be my topic when I started this month. God works in some funky ways, y'all. He will get you. He'll work on me while I'm working on you, in terms of like, I'm a coach. Y'all know that. I coach, mainly my clients are fitness clients, but I'm starting to get more clients that are just wanting life coaching and wellness coaching. And I'll put all the link in my bio and stuff when I repost this on YouTube. When you see this on YouTube, please like and subscribe, because it's my new page and I really, really need to increase my followers so that I can do more with the page. But anyway, tonight, fear of failure. It's crazy because there's so many levels to fear in itself. And then the thought of being failing. And it's so crazy, because I like to take it a step further and think, okay, Nicole, so what? If you go to a competition and fall on your face, and hurt yourself again, so what? Can't you get back up and do it again? Can't you get back up and heal again? You know, I don't know. Maybe you don't do that again, but maybe you do it in a different way. Maybe you do something else. Like, you know, we always think that that's the end of the world. And it's like, wait a minute. I could be like Madonna and reinvent myself, right? Madonna, like if you think about those old school 80s singers, you know, the people who've been around forever. Oh my gosh, J-Lo. Talk about reinventing yourself. Like Janet, reinvent yourself. Like iconic. And that's so funny that I'm saying this and this is just naturally coming out because those are the people that I'm like, you know, I love them. But I used to say that when I was younger and I was doing my fitness competition. Every year when I did a new routine, I was like dead set on reinventing myself. Like, oh, wait till I come out on that stage and show them what I got now, you know? Like there was always that energy and that excitement behind getting to do that, getting to surprise people. So I'm going to just say right now that this video that I'm doing right now is so impromptu and so like at the final, well, not, I mean, it's not 12 o'clock, but I was just like, I'm about to get into bed and I haven't done my live. So, but I will say this, I hope you're energized and charged because I am all of a sudden, I just speaking it out is very therapeutic for me, you know. Just sharing with you my story right now is very therapeutic. It just reminds me of like snap out of it, Nicole. Like it is okay. Yes, you are a legend in fitness. I'm gonna say it. I didn't normally say it, but I'm starting to say it now because now in my career, I am that girl that when I do meet a new fitness girl and I'm just there to help them, they're like, oh my gosh, your routines were the first ones that came up when I was interested in fitness and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know, thanks for making me feel old, you know, like, but at the same time, I wear it as a, you know, as a badge of honor now because I think about, you know, oh my gosh, all the people that I followed back in the day, Nicole Rolalazo, oh my gosh, Adela Garcia, like, you know, just who else? Kelly Ryan, oh my gosh, Lord bless her soul. Who else? There was like a ton of girls that I used to follow, and when I did get to finally meet them and compete with them, they were so sweet. Several of them became my friends. And I just was like amazed at how now I was seeing them and now I was in the place where they were. You know, so anyway, I'm done with my live. Somebody just asked who motivated me to get into fitness. Definitely those girls that I just named. I was trying to think of somebody else that was really awesome and amazing too. But those were the main ones right away that I saw that really motivated me. And then, of course, when I got into it, I met more people like Stacey Simons. And, you know, of course, I always looked up to the girls that looked more like me because of course there was not on the ESPN circuits, there was not that many black girls. So, you know, it was just, for me, it was fun and realizing that I could then take my gymnastics background and my cheerleading background. And I also have I did dance as part of my gymnastics. It was kind of required. I could combine all of that. And of course, the cheering for the Falcons is really dance and performance. So that added to what I was able to put together. And so seeing those girls on ESPN and, you know, and following, you know, mainly those girls were the ones that I was just like, hey, of course, easy, right? Nicole Rolalazo, badass, total badass, great dancer, sweetheart. And her name was Nicole. Duh. I was like, oh, there's another Nicole doing this, you know? So Yeah, those are some of my main ones. Yes, you can definitely DM me to ask me more questions about fitness. Also, if you're interested in coaching, wellness, I do nutrition coaching, um, those kind of things as well. So hit me up, you guys. I have to go because I have this big light. Uh, I'm sweating. I'm like, I don't need to be sweating. It's time for me to go to bed. I'm sweating in this jacket, covering up my pajamas. And I will be live tomorrow. I'm going to try my best to go earlier. But either way, whether you catch it or not, I'm doing it as I feel. So I try to do it earlier in the day, but no matter what, I'll repost it. And because I cannot let my crew down. We're a bunch of my friends. We're in this together. We're going live every day, spreading positive energy, and just really trying to be a light for people to get through, these crazy times. It's, it's all, there's already light at the end of the tunnel. We're getting there, but we have to forge forward. We cannot pretend like 2020 didn't happen. We have to forge forward and present positive lights and moving on in this life. So hope y'all are doing great. As my coach would say, I keep ending it like this because I don't know why. She just embeds this in us. But blessings and abundance to all, and to all a good night. I sound like it's Christmas, but it is. It could be Christmas every day in your brain if you want it to be. Anyway, there's more of that positive thinking. So, all right, y'all. Have a good night. Bye.